My name is Maar. I'm the CEO of a company called 11880. So 11880 is a mid-sized company in Germany, and we are one of the last two remaining companies who offer directory assistance services, either on the one side via call center people and directory listings. So our biggest competitor is the yellow pages here from Germany. But on the other side, we as well have a few offerings, or many new offerings for SMB companies concerning helping them from becoming offline to a real online company. So as I already said, we have business directories, we have specialist portals for roofers, for you name it. We are the biggest ratings aggregator in Germany with a site which is called Who Knows the Best. We produce websites, we have a secretary service. We are one of a few platinum partners of Google and Bing AdWords resellers. And we are selling data and software. Actually, we are still located in 3 locations. So the headquarters is in Essen, and I have 2 call centers in Neubrandenburg and Rostock. The company was founded in 1969 in the earlier days. The IPO was 1999, and the market cap in the early days was up to 3.5 billion euros. When we have, look at on the next slide, we can see that the company was quite heavy suffering around 2010 because the internet and Google was coming with high speed. So we lost customers like hell, we lost revenue like hell. The company market cap went down from 3.5 billion to 20 million euros, so which means it was the beginning of a very heavy restructuring case. So I took over in 2015. I was formerly leading a company which is called Allegro, which is somehow a twin of eBay. So whatever you know from eBay in the West is called Allegro in the East. I was leading Immonet, which is one of the 3 big real estate portals in Germany. And since 2015, I'm leading as CEO the 11880. So typically when I take over a company, the company is quite heavily struggling, or it's growing like hell. So the 11880 was, as I already mentioned, very strong, struggling. So when I take over, I'm typically concentrating on establishing a project management office to streamline and organize projects in a better way. I try to improve speed, because typically when companies are struggling, it's quite often based on a very slow attitude within the company. And I try as much as possible to make decisions based on a data-driven method. So when we typically look at for a business BI solution, so the management typically wants to have stronger insight, so that we are able to make smarter management decisions on the one side, and on the other side, as I already mentioned, we want to speed up things. So we want to make the right projects within the right time. And of course, like in all restructuring projects, we have to reduce costs. So during this time, Oracle came into place with a few sales promises concerning their autonomous database stored in the cloud. So we were anyway in the middle of a new strategy that we tried to move whatever system possible into the cloud. So we were talking with Amazon and their AWS service. We were already a big customer, or we were in the middle of migrating our whole Office 365 infrastructure into the Azure cloud, and all the other things like our existing Siebel system and so on, you name it, were under investigation concerning, is it possible to get rid of on-prem solutions and place them into the cloud? So as well, we were in the middle of dramatically reducing our staff especially the IT stuff, like always. So when you want to save money, the first things you do is you reduce IT costs on one side and marketing spendings on the other side. So we reduced IT stuff, and we reduced especially stuff on the database side, as well as we were looking for somebody who could replace this existing stuff with full support of a data warehouse, as well a company who was able to fully manage our existing BI database and environment on the one side, and on the other side, we're looking for a solution who was, at least on paper, fully elastic, which means which was able to grow with us in one direction, but as well be able to reduce size in probably even harder cases. So, as you can see on this slide, 113, we were one of the first autonomous customers. So we started in Q3, Q4 2017 with a small beta test. So I think we were one of 2 or 3 companies worldwide who were testing the early first versions of the cloud and autonomous databases. We then started to increase our data volume in Q1, Q2. We implemented in Q3, Q4. So we set up full AAC services and so on. And since 2020, we are live with a few instances on the autonomous database. And for 2021 and 2022, we are planning to expand the existing services in this area. When we look at our previous infrastructure, so we had a classical IT infrastructure where we had CRP, RM, CTI, HR, and a few other ones, and used ETL processes to pump them into our data warehouse. And then we, of course, had a few BI instances to use the data within the company. Our new structure looks like that we replaced a few of our back office systems. So we will use, beginning of September, Salesforce on the one side and a few MDM products, but the other ones are still existing. We are still using ETL processes, but pump everything into an autonomous database, which is fully managed by Oracle, and have all the other components as well within the cloud. So far we can say that when we go to slide number 115, that we had a few comparisons against the typical suspects. So as I already said, we tried to compare it against Amazon Web Services. We had an on-premise database, Exasol, which were used until we were using Oracle Autonomous Database, and we used it especially against Amazon Redshift. So what our technical staff realized from the early beginning on, that we had quite significant performance increases on the one side, and on the other side, we had all the benefits like very fast provisioning of a high performance database. We had easy and fast connectivity from our on-prem ETL data sources to the data warehouse in the cloud. And we were very, very easily, especially this was a very easy case for us, that we were easily able to convert Oracle on-prems to the autonomous data warehouse in the cloud. So everything was there and everything was up and running, and we were quite happy that we made this move and to make it on one line, especially in this hard restructuring phase in 2018-19. This approach helped us a lot to reduce stuff on the one side, but to keep up pace on the other side. So on the very high level, as a CEO, without any nitty-bitty gritties, we can say that this project was quite successful for 11880. So thank you very much.